This is about Coach Red Pill. I think I should probably pull up the story about him. Who is Gonzalo Lira? Pro-Putin American expat dies in Ukrainian jail. So Coach Red Pill, I encountered first as a YouTuber when he had quite a small YouTube channel. Something like 6,000 and 9,000 subscribers. And he was involved in calling out some big YouTuber. And I don't even remember who the fuck it was. This would have been a long time ago. And I've no idea what that was. It was right when I was starting out on YouTube. It might have been Kraut and Tea that he was calling out, but it doesn't really matter who he was in that respect. That's just when I encountered him. And then actually, one of the first live events that I did as a YouTuber, attended as a YouTuber, was the Knoxville Knockout, where Andy Worski was set to fight Tonka Saw. And this was a wild event. And several other people in the sphere were there. It was myself, Dick Masterson, Andy Worski, Ethan Ralph, Coach Red Pill. I think that's all the main ones I'm thinking of were there. And somewhere there's a picture of me, Ralph, Worski, Coach Red Pill. I don't know if Dick was in that picture, but it was at a biscuit place in Knoxville, Tennessee. Pretty good biscuits, gotta say. It was Kraut and Tea. Gator was there. Yeah, Gator was there as well. Gator was part of the kill stream at the time. It was long before the Rift. So anyway, met Coach Red Pill there. He's a fine enough chap. Had some good times. He had a little bit of a temper on him. One of my favorite memories was him getting kicked out of the bar because one of the fans there who liked him was talking to him. And he said, you look much older in person. And then Coach Red Pill threw his drink on the guy, like splashed the drink on the guy. And then the bar security kicked him out. Like, you can't do that. Oh my God. It was good. It was good times. Cause he had to walk out of the bar like Charlie Brown, like slumped shoulders. And I really mean this. This is a mirthful story in my book. I don't think he should have been kicked out of the bar for it, but he was a little bit of a hothead. And he's also kind of, Ralph had this story from when they were at the bar the night before. I wasn't there, and he was telling me about how like Coach Red Pill got mad at the waitress, and then Ralph tipped her like $100 and made him even more mad. But anyway, it's I had fond memories of Coach Red Pill. He promised to do a documentary. He gave everybody these fucking stupid little GoPros with fuzzy microphones on them to record everything they were doing, which sounded horrible to me. I never wanted to do that, but he handed them out to people, and and some people were recording stuff, and he was going to take all that footage and compile it into a documentary of the fight that never happened. And then that was the documentary that never happened. So, he just didn't do it, which is fine, but people were expecting that. And it's too bad because now that footage is lost forever. That was then. And Coach and I had this, we didn't really talk all that much, but we had fine interactions. And then one day he decides to write a book called Wiltshire Boulevard, and did a crowdfunding for it. And he asked me to do a review of the book. So I read the book. He sends me the proof copy, and I read the proof copy. And I gave it an honest review, I think, which was and he wanted to be on for the review. The review is basically, if you're an internet person, you like Coach Red Pill, and you kind of get that, you're probably going to enjoy the book, right? Like it was a kidnap drama thriller book, but it had a lot of internet isms. It had a furry sex convention, of course. and he gets like gassed or something, right? Obviously, as it should happen. But it's like, if you're not internet people, the book's not going to make sense. But that's okay, because he's selling it to his fans. That's the point of what he was doing. I thought it was a little overpriced. It's like $150 for a signed copy. But hey, what am I? What am I? I'm just a me, right? But so I give the review, and then he's like, well, I want you to be really honest in the review, like really, like, be critical of it. And I said, but coach, I don't really want to do that though. Cause like, I read it, so I didn't want to do that. Cause I'm friendly with but he said, no, I want you to. I said, okay. So then I did. Be honest on stream, and basically told him that one of the big problems is that a lot of the characters, the main characters in the book, are women, and all of the women seem like they were written by Coach Redpill because they were written by Coach Redpill. But Coach Redpill doesn't really like women that much, or didn't. I guess now he might. Wasn't a big fan of them. So you can kind of imagine how even the ones that we're supposed to like are all vapid, wildly self-interested, narcissistic, shallow pieces of garbage. It's like, well, how am I supposed to like the one that gets kidnapped? Like, why save her? She's a piece of shit. They're terrible, terrible women. It's like, you should just have an editor like who isn't you, right? Like, redo the female dialogue, just tool it up, fem it up a little bit. Just make them not so disgusting. And yeah, so I gave him the review. He thanked me for it. And then I had Doug Tenaple on the next day, and I talked about the review again. I talked with Doug, and I said, hey man, like, I just talked to Coach about this. Like, you need an editor. You should always have an editor when you do your writing. You should have someone come in, and because your view of it, you know too much about what you're writing. So you got to have someone come in, read it, and see if it needs to change. See if you need more detail, less detail. See if maybe that doesn't sound believable. You need someone to come in and scoop that up. And Doug agreed with me. Then I got the message from Coach. To never, ever talk badly about him again. I guess I can now. But to never, ever talk badly about him again. Or something. I don't know. It wasn't like a real threat. And after that, he just didn't like me anymore. And I felt bad because I didn't even want to do that. I didn't want to do that at all. I just wanted to say, hey, you know what? Like, it's because it's hard to write a novel. I mean, this isn't a graphic novel. This is a full-length fucking book. And that's a tough task for anybody. Try it sometime. It sucks. And so it's like, I didn't want to shit on it. And I knew his fans would probably enjoy it. It had all the elements of, like, you know, just a run-of-the-mill thriller. And that's not a bad thing. You're not Hemingway, man. Like, you're not going to write the next great American novel. It's just not going to happen. You're just Coach Redpill. So write a Coach Redpill book and enjoy the shit out of it. But whatever. It just didn't work out. Well, so anyway, I go years now without ever talking to Coach again. Some people out there keep saying, give us the book, give us the book. Did Wiltshire Boulevard ever come out? Only 3 people have copies and I am one. Oh my, he never released it? Oh no. Oh no. Coach, why? Oh shit. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh God, now I'm going to have to find it. I hope I didn't delete it somewhere. Shit. Now you have to read. I did read it. I read it. You mean read it to you? Fuck. JFG and Godwinson no longer have their copies. I got to find it, I guess. Holy fuck. Might be the only. Do you know how ridiculous that is? I will look. I'll check it. I might have moved it to my storage server. I don't have any reason why I would delete it. It's not like it's like, well, I got to delete this book before all the women on my computer become evil bitches. No, it's like, it's got to be somewhere. Terry David, PPP and Andy say, give them your copy and they will never talk of you again. We'll apologize. Nah, I don't care. Oh, not a chance. Not a chance. They're going to have to pay me big money for this copy of this book. Holy shit. I'm like Sam Jackson, John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. Like, you got the golden fucking briefcase. I'll have to find it. It's got to be somewhere. I just don't remember how he sent it to me. But I will find it. No matter how far, I will find you. All right. So, anyway, I don't hear about him for years. Then this war in Ukraine kicks off. And all of a sudden, Coach is like an independent war correspondent because he lives in Ukraine, or whatever. He lives there. And, I mean, this article labels him as pro-Putin. But people are saying he wasn't really pro-Putin, more anti-Ukraine. But he does the dumbest thing I've seen a person do ever that I know of. Like that. I've seen people do dumb things, but I don't know them. I know this person a little bit. And he does the dumbest thing I've ever seen. He broadcasts himself after the evacuation of Ukraine. He broadcasts himself being critical of the Ukrainian government from a Ukrainian hotel where he could be identified live on YouTube. He's just broadcasting criticisms of the existing government during an invasion, and at least tacit support for the invading force. And I'm like, dude, you can't, like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. If you don't know the history of the United States, the right of habeas corpus is a critical and integral part. That's where if you are jailed or imprisoned by the government in some sense unfairly or for too long or outside the bounds of law, you have the right of habeas corpus. You can petition a court to order your release to the government entity that is in charge of this. And it's a sacred right because it is the right of the journalist, the dissident. It's the right of everybody who is a political target. But there is a time in the Constitution, very specifically in the United States, where the right to habeas corpus is suspended. And that's in times of invasion. In a time of invasion in the United States, the most free country on the planet, with your rights guaranteed by a constitution for 230 years. In a time of invasion, the right to habeas corpus is suspended. And it was actually used by Abraham Lincoln to imprison dissident journalists in the North who were critical of the Union and supportive of the Confederacy. A man who's largely regarded as one of the greatest presidents in American history just went ahead and violated one of the most sacred rights in America because it was a time of invasion. And they just didn't have time for that bullshit with enemy at the gates. So, why would you expect Ukraine to treat you better than America? I'm not familiar with a right to free expression or habeas corpus in Ukraine, but maybe they have one. So I don't know why you would broadcast that. Like, get out of the country first. You're an American expat. I think you had a Argentinian passport or something. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Then say whatever you want. But he did end up getting in prison. Does that mean that his opinions were wrong or he shouldn't have said them? No. Just logistics, man. Logistics. It's just not smart. In an Eastern European country or Western Asian, I don't even know how they classify, but in that type of environment, to be a dissident journalist in time of invasion, like that's just not the strategy, man. Get the fuck out. Tell your story when you're out. Then there was, after that, there was these stories about him being arrested, not arrested, killed, not killed. Then apparently he was arrested, eventually sent to a work camp. And then he's died now due to apparently medical negligence or medical neglect is the charge there. Let's read the article real quick and I'll give a little toast to him and then we'll move on. 55-year-old Chilean American who was imprisoned in Ukraine after allegedly spreading Russian propaganda, then violating his bail conditions, has died in Ukrainian jail. Now, I don't know if he was spreading Russian propaganda, but he was certainly speaking out against the Ukrainian government while they were invading. I watched some of it. It was interesting. Posting on X, formerly Twitter, conservative social media personality Tucker Carlson said he had been informed of the death by Lira's father. Speaking to Newsweek, I'm sure CoachRedPill always wanted to get on Tucker Carlson. A State Department official confirmed the death of a U.S. citizen in Ukraine and offered their sincerest condolences to the family on their loss. The cause of Lira's death has not been confirmed. He died by Russian bullet. Newsweek contacted the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry for comment by mail on Saturday. Lira was formerly a pickup artist. Oh, God. Oh, they said that without a hint of irony. Oh, my God. I don't mean to be a dick. I don't mean to be a dick. But I can. Oh, I'm not sure what he's picking up. Look, I'm trying not to be an asshole here. But if CoachRedPill's a pickup artist, I feel like he's using my pickup shoulders. That's all I'm saying. I cannot. All right. Go get him, Coach. Chase tail in heaven, brother. Formerly a pickup artist who posted videos to YouTube under the name CoachRedPill. He was living in Kharkiv when the Russian military launched a full-scale invasion in February 2022. Lira gained a following by posting content online hostile to the Ukrainian government and its president, Volodymyr Zelensky. I mean, he gained a following online a lot before that. He had several 100,000 subscribers. It's not like he was a nobody. Lira, well, like what I mean. I mean, I am, but he is too. Never mind. Lira baselessly branded Ukraine's leader a cokehead and described the Russian operation as one of the most brilliant invasions in military history. All right. It's funny, at least. Lira was arrested by Ukraine's internal security agency, the SBU, on May 1st before being released on bail. He subsequently released a video saying he was going to try to leave the country before being rearrested for allegedly breaching his bail conditions, which I'm guessing one of them was leaving the country. Speaking about Lira's arrest, the Ukrainian government Center for Strategic Communication and Information Security, oh, that doesn't sound shady as fuck, also known as Spravdi, said the YouTube poster had been charged with justifying Russian aggression against Ukraine in violation of Article 463-2 of the country's criminal code. That's pretty specific crime. Specifically, Spravdi said that Lira had justified the Russian attack by falsely claiming the Ukrainian government was a neo-Nazi regime. Is it false, though? I mean, there was a lot of suggestion that they had some similarities. If I remember correctly, there were ample comparisons to neo-Nazism about the Ukrainian government, because that was the funny thing, was like, look at all the liberals supporting effectively a neo-Nazi regime. Like that was the funniest joke. So, okay. And denied massacres of civilian Ukrainians by Russian invaders in Bucha and other cities. Spravdi added that Lira filmed himself insulting Ukrainian soldiers before publishing the footage on social media. Now, again, not necessarily the most brilliant tactic, but a bold one. On April 3rd, 2022, Ukraine's prosecutor general, Irina Venediktova, said the bodies of 410 civilians had been recovered from Bucha, a town on the outskirts of Kiev, and neighboring settlements following the retreat of Russian troops. Taras Shipravsky, a speaker of the Bucha City Council, told Newsweek, we have official data confirming the deaths of 422 civilians at the hands of the Russian occupiers. Posting on X, formerly Twitter, in July, Lira said he was arrested for my YouTube videos, adding, my crime was making videos critical of the West and their proxy regime in Kiev and how they are destroying Ukraine. Lira added that he was tortured in prison by other inmates, which saw him beaten and sleep deprived with his arms twisted the wrong way around at the shoulder. Fuck that. Yeah, you don't want to go to prison, and you don't want to go to Ukrainian prison, and you don't want to go to Ukrainian prison when you're like anti-Ukraine while they're being invaded. All of this is bad. All this is bad news. These allegations were strenuously denied by Sarah Ashton Cirillo, a former American journalist who became a sergeant in the Ukrainian army. In an interview with Business Insider, Ashton Cirillo said, in an effort to gain sympathy, Gonzalo Lira made up allegations of abuse and torture. As someone who spoke to him shortly after he was returned to custody, it was clear that he was in good health and treated extremely fairly by the state security services. Look, I mean, you can't look at this face and say he was in good health ever. Poor Couch. No one believed him. When asked about Lira's reported death by Newsweek, a State Department spokesperson said they could confirm the death of a U.S. citizen in Ukraine. The spokesperson added, we offer our sincerest condolences to the family on their loss. We stand ready to provide all appropriate consular assistance. Out of respect for the family during this difficult time, we have no further comment. Posting on X on Friday, Tucker Carlson wrote, Gonzalo Lira Sr. says his son died at 55 in Ukrainian prison, where he was being held for the crime of criticizing the Zelensky and Biden governments. Gonzalo Lira was an American citizen, but the Biden administration clearly supported his imprisonment and torture. Several weeks ago, we spoke to his father, who predicted his son would be killed. I know Tucker is going after Biden here. I just really wonder if the Biden regime has any idea who CoachRedPill is. I just really do. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know if I buy that. There we go. So all that to say, like, look, I can laugh at Coach, whatever. He's still really mad at me about Wiltshire Boulevard, but I never realized it wasn't released. But he is dead, apparently. I don't have any reason to disbelieve his death this time. And it's a shame because he died for opinions. The government didn't like them. And he was imprisoned and ultimately lost his life because of it. And that's bullshit. No matter how goofy I think he was, no matter our stupid tiff, which, again, I never actually cared about, but Coach got mad. So, okay. To CoachRedPill, to Gonzalo Lira, to the majority of my interactions with him being good, and for him being an interesting man that's able to draw a bunch of people in and entertain them with stories about life, stories about women, stories about business, and eventually stories about Ukraine. May he rest in peace. May his family be at peace with his passing. And may the people who loved and listened to him always have the opportunity to remember him as a dude they liked. Cheers to Coach. All right. There we go. CoachRedPill. Dead at 55. What a fucking weird world this is, man. You run into strange people and then they get killed.